We placed this before the court. I argued this before the court. If they had said, well, it was their duty to respond and say, no, this is not the correct translation. I've never heard of this in a detention order. Again, not replied to. And what's interesting is the learned Solicitor General, when he gave this note, didn't quote the read portion. They have supplied and has relied upon incorrect transcripts of the videos, portions of which have been selectively extracted so as to mislead the detaining authority into arriving at its objective satisfaction. A copy of the corrected transcripts have been submitted to the court by the petitioner on 29/1. The detention order is liable to be set aside also on the ground that the detaining authority has relied upon non-existing material, since the transcripts of what transpired in the context of the speeches made by the detainee is not reflected on what is stated by the detainee. Therefore, the detaining authority is relying upon material which does not exist and has therefore arrived at subjective satisfaction based on non-existing material.
Like which one?
I gave you lordship the green and the red, remember?
Yes, we have got everything. Green,
Yes,
red,
just
blue, violet, yellow, all with Gaya. Everything is here.
Yes.
That green part is the true and correct translation of
Yes.
the Ladakhi speech with 4 lines.
We placed this. It was his duty to respond. We placed this before the court. I argued this before the court. If they had said, well, it was their duty to respond and say, no, this is not the correct translation, they don't address this at all. Instead, they give you a note, which note does not reflect what is stated in red here. So what is given to the detaining authority is a transcript of the speech which doesn't exist. I've never heard of this in a detention order. Again, not replied to. And what's interesting is the learned Solicitor General, when he gave this note, didn't quote the red portion.
Shown in the ink at time slot 30:05 to 31.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. Now read this, Mullahs. India will not give statehood, then he will dedicate his life to overthrow the elected government. Where is that? It's not there. He also proposed self-immolation by Ladakhis. Where is that? Not there.
Solicitor, we want the actual transcript of these speeches.
I'll do. Please.
See, what he says is something different. What is found in your text is something different. What he is relying upon and asserting that this is the correct speech is something different.
Still places.
So,
But Madam, he gave him a chance. But the point is,
you can be ad item on the issue of at least the text of the speech.
Right.
The interpretation, you may interpret something, he may interpret something, you may interpret something.
For the court ultimately.
We will decide.
I only request your lordship, it's not something that comes as a surprise to them.
That's right. We agree.
It is something that I have stated, I have argued. They have chosen not to respond. Now, as we get into the quagmire, they will start interpreting something in some fashion. This will never end, Mullahs. You give a chance to the other side, they have to respond. If they choose not to respond.
Because this is the basis on which the detention order is passed.
No, I'm not saying no, Mullahs. I'm just saying that if I have put this in issue, Mullahs,
No, we are agreeing with you, sir. We are saying that I have already canvassed this argument.
yes,
I have put forth my contention,
Yeah.
and this was never rebutted to them by their reply.
correct, right. Even in the table they have given, Mullahs, let's rely on their table, Mullahs. Where is this stated? Mullahs, why should we give them another chance is what I'm saying, Mullahs. Let's rely on what they've given to your lordships. The learned Solicitor General's, Mullahs, table. Water to corporations, then protecting India becomes my sacred duty. I will say only this for now, that we all need to be prepared to save our mother Ladakh and mother India. Where is the question of overthrowing any elected government? And it's not even reflected in the chart that they have given.
Next line also, you said that public mobilization and all that.
I'm sorry, what said something?
We are just reading that.
Yes,
We are just comparing this.
yes.
Even in your tabular column which you have given,
Yes.
this doesn't find a place at all.
The tabular is a transcript. The tabular column, whatever it has been furnished to the submitted to this court is upon the translation of his videos. Nothing else. That is the.
No, that doesn't find a place in the detention order. If this is the basis on which you formed an opinion to order for detaining him,
Yes.
that should find a place in the
Detention order, multiple factors or multiple issues might have been made in his mind. Because sole issue alone is not the criteria to pass the order of detention. Multiple issues.
There should be at least the correct transcript of what he states. You may have your reasons,
Yes.
assuming that you are supporting the order, saying that it was for the detaining authority to consider what way the speech was given, whether it had an impact or effect But at least whatever stated in the speeches, we expect a true translation. There should not be a variance.
Well, if your lordships want, I can simultaneously quote the paragraphs in Ahmed Kurti because I have a separate compiler. Not required. Very. Then two minutes. They're the only two acts. Well, this is again, I made a submission attributed to the detinue were the Padyatra in September, October 24, and the incident of 24/9. Pertinently, in the Padyatra, no violent activity was attributed in respect of that protest and was in fact recognized as the most peaceful Padyatra by media channels. The other incident of 24/9, where the detinue, by his own actions, condemned violence. This is clear and evident from the record where he publicly stated that any form of violence was not acceptable to him. No other documentary evidence or speech had any consequence that led to the disturbance of public order. These facts have not been denied by the respondent. Again, Miller's not responding to. I made that, Miller's. 3. Many of the documents, including speeches relied upon by the detaining authority, are unrelated to the detinue. Many of the FIRs, your lordship knows, it's completely unrelated. My name is not there. 3 of the 5 FIRs that have been relied upon neither name the detinue nor contain specific allegations against him, have no relevance, and are entirely unrelated to the acts of the detinue. Additionally, out of the 8 videos relied upon in paragraph 4, this is important, of the detention order, 4 videos are more than 1 year old, and 2 videos dated 24/9/25 are from after the incident of violence that took place. Further, the detaining authority has in annexure B of the grounds of detention relied upon material having no nexus with any alleged activity of the detainee. The said material which pertains to the acts of third persons, bearing no connection to the detinue, and is not directed towards any conduct attributable to him. These videos, along with other material relied upon, are in the eyes of law stale and therefore cannot form the basis of an independent ground under Section 5A. No submissions have been addressed by the respondent in this regard. It is settled law that if the detaining authority considers unnecessary, immaterial, irrelevant circumstances, then such subjective satisfaction of the detaining authority would be vitiated and the detention order is liable to be set aside. As I gave to your lordships an example of a person who smuggles every 2 months goods into India. Those are regarded as separate grounds because at the end of 1 year or 2 years, the detaining authority says, this guy is going to continue with this activity. Because if it were acts of violence committed every 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, in which Sonam was involved, you could have said that these are separate events. So there are no such things. In fact, there is no act of violence. There is no issue of any disturbance of public order. In fact, when the public order is disturbed, he says, stop this. He is preventing violence, preventing disturbance of public order. Just the opposite. Maharaj, what he showed to me were other videos. Maharaj, this pen drive has, I've got the pen drive in there, and I can give it to you. Maharaj, if anybody modifies that pen drive, it will be shown. That pen drive has videos. Not these 4 videos.
Which are those? We have 2 pen drives.
Ask them to give you the pen drive. You will see the 4 videos I have.
Which is the one given, you have also given 1 pen drive.
We'll give you the pen drive. We have it.
No, you have already given, she has given it to us.
The pen drive that we received from them, we have not given to you. That is the one that the petitioner has received, which does not have those 4 videos.
Malad, the pen drive we have,
This is
as your
one
lordship
not
knows, that
from
in
this-
a computer there is a hashtag number. If you try and modify the pen drive, it will show. We have the pen drive,
Sure.
and the 4 videos are not there.